Oh, whoa. Oops. Oh, whoa. I pushed the wrong button. Hello, everyone. Congrats, Softy, on first. Hello, Softy. Hello, Sadebra. Welcome to Manga Club. Let me get our music pulled up. I have a playlist that we're going to listen to. Let me shirt. Okay. I posted it in the channel, but when I was looking through the Tomie stuff, I saw this pop up. I was like, what a better time to listen to this playlist. Oh shoot. Oh shoot. Ah. Okay, no, I think we're good. I don't know if I've heard like any of the songs on this playlist, but oh my gosh, Blitty's a farmer. Let me make him not a farmer. It won't take long. I'm so sorry to this song, but I have to pause it. I feel like that song is not the vibe I was looking for right now. Oh, it was getting crazy though. Why am I looking for Blitty? How's everyone doing today? Happy Wednesday. Okay, we're gonna have the music maybe a little quiet today. I'm trying to get everything set up over here. I have my Google all set up, but I'm trying to make sure I have my Discord all set up. You know, I'm looking through the channel. I'm just thinking maybe we just do the internet today. Let's go to the internet. To the internet. I've heard this song. I think this song I saw on TikTok. Oh, that was funny. That was funny. Okay, I'm gonna be so honest. Let's I'm so sorry. I don't know why I was not expecting those kinds of songs in that playlist when I definitely should have. Hello, Ness. But we have a more chill. Mona Leo. What? Was it that the artist? I don't know. Let me look. Yes, it was. It was the Misandry Moi playlist that I found on Tumblr that has Tomie as the cover. I was like, what a perfect playlist to listen to. But we were 2 songs in and I was already getting too distracted by the song. I was already getting distracted. Hell yeah. No, I've never listened to them, but I feel like I'm gonna listen to this playlist another time. That's good. Okay. So, hello everybody. Welcome to Manga Club. October, we read 2 manga. We read 2 Junji Ito manga, Tomie and Black Paradox, and we're here to talk about them today. This was the playlist, this was the post. All of these posts and videos should be in the Discord, in the respective threads for the mangas. I posted them all up. But yeah, that playlist, 3 hours and 31 minutes of hating men, which we love to see. We can close that one up. Okay, so we have some Tumblr posts. We have some videos talking about them. I might jump around this video a little bit. This one is an hour and 21 minutes long, but it's every single Tomie manga explained. So I'm assuming it's a deep dive into each one, and you know, there's like 20 chapters, so that's a lot to deep dive into. Let me pull up Discord. Let me see Oh gosh, this big old warning. Let's look at this lovely little image while I scroll through the Discrod. My favorite out of all the Tomies, I don't know. I really enjoyed it. I had a really good time reading it. And one thing too is I don't particularly like a lot of horror or scary things, but the plot being very similar each time, which I pretty much knew was going to happen, right? She was going to find some man, he was going to love her, he was going to want to kill her, so on and so forth. But I really, really enjoyed this one. I don't know if I had a favorite, truthfully. Like, the first thing I posted when I started the first chapter was a picture of her and saying, she's so pretty. And then I said, dang, she would have gotten me. Like, I would have been trapped. Her little spell she would have cast upon me and it would have worked. But yeah, the story was very lovely, honestly. And I kind of feel bad for her. She can't be loved. They just love her too much. But this is some art that I saw on Tumblr. Again, these are all in the Discord. I thought this one was cute with like the little Hello Kitties. Here's the artist. I'm also not logged in. I liked this art too. There was a lot of art that I saw, so I definitely recommend scrolling through the tags. Thank you for the hydrate, Slick. For real. It was so crazy scrolling through it. And I didn't pick a lot. I just picked a few, and I will not scroll the tag on Twitch just because I know there are some boobies in this manga. I just gotta be careful. There's so much great fan art. Like, look at that. Look at this. And that artist. I love this cake. I thought this cake, one, looked so delicious. But this isn't just Tomie. I think that's from Uzumaki. I haven't read a lot of them, but I know this one is Tomie. And I wanted to eat that really bad. Just a little drawing of her. People do love that baddie. I also love that baddie. Okay, I was glad I saw this on Tumblr because this was probably one of my favorite moments from the manga. I assume for the cake they probably had edible paper that they like printed it out on. It looks just like the manga. Now that's me assuming. Okay, they could have done that art by hand, and I apologize if they did. I'm just out here going, they just used edible paper. But this was my favorite scene in probably all of Tomie when she was in her little cocoon. I loved it. All the fake Tomie fans have that one same exact icon of her. But what about Burrito Tomie? Where's the love for the true cozy queen? I love her. Okay, and that was all the Tumblr posts that I had set aside for that manga. Honestly, not a lot. I could browse more. But maybe later we'll browse more. And I have a few videos, which I will say I have not watched them. So if we start a video and it's like, I don't really know, we might stop around. These are posted again. This one is Tomie and the Horror of Femininity, which I thought would be a very interesting watch. We have How Does It All Connect with Tomie, an analysis of Junji Ito's horror manga. This one, I'm definitely interested to see what this is about. Okay, it's analysis of Tomie. Okay, I wasn't sure if it was like how she connected with Junji Ito's other manga, but I'm very interested in this one as well. And then this one, I said we might skip around a little bit. Every single Tomie manga explained 20+ stories, and it's very long. But we might skip around here just to go over some of the stories. And then Black Paradox, I don't have any videos on that. I just have a few Tumblr posts, which is multiple of them are by the same artist, which I loved. I really liked Black Paradox. I thought it was a very good read. You know, a lot of BPD cuties relate to her a lot. Looks at my BF. No, I see. I can see why though. I love her so much. An icon. She's truly an icon. Okay, let me turn off our tunes. Tunes off while we watch our video. We're gonna start with this one. Let me see. Is there not theater mode anymore? There's full screen. I haven't really there's theater mode. I haven't really used YouTube since they've like updated stuff. Oh, I want to start with this one. I wanted to start with the horror, Tomie and the Horror of Femininity. So, for those who did not read Tomie, Tomie was a story. Right after I turn off the music, I decided I just want to talk. Let's turn on for a second. The story of Tomie follows Tomie. She is this beautiful woman, and we see her in different parts, and we see her all around. And the thing is that people fall in love with her, and they fall in love with her so much that they just get this like overwhelming urge to chop her up and to kill her. And that's essentially what all of the stories are about. You know, somebody falls in love with her, and then they have the urge, and then they kill her, and then she mutates, and it's pretty much that over and over and over again. But it's very interesting seeing her personalities throughout the story, how she changes throughout the story. I know that was one thing that Softy brought up, is that the length of time that Junji Ito wrote Tomie over, you can just see how even they perceive her in different ways. I don't... Sorry. I didn't know... I didn't really know... I don't know much about Junji Ito, so... As he wrote it, you can see how she changed throughout time and how she looks different between the first chapter and the last chapter. Hello! It's just signing in for Manga Club. You just get a little point saying that you were here. It doesn't really do anything other than keep track of it, and one day if I ever add anything to it. It's still not correct, though. Like, I still haven't been able to get the old ones in. I tried to edit the text file and it didn't work because I asked you guys, I was like, hey, who all went to old manga clubs? Because I don't have your points anymore. And I tried to add those in and I thought it worked, but then today I realized as I see people doing it that it did not work. So I'll look at that again. Let me go edit my remind. Where is it? Okay. Remind myself this. I might need you to. I thought I fixed it, but I definitely did not. I was like, I'll just edit the text file, and I did that. And maybe I didn't actually upload the text file. That could honestly be what happened, is that I didn't actually upload it after I edited it, but I think I did. I don't know. I'll find out later. I'll look and see. Yes, everybody. Yes, everybody. Hello. Okay, now we're gonna watch the video. Now that I told you all what the manga's about. I watched the first like 2 minutes of this video earlier today because I was like, I should maybe watch these before we watch them on stream. And then I was like, nah. Nah, we're gonna watch them together.
Junji Ito is a master of his craft. His artwork is haunting and amazing and beautiful, and he has become the most well-known horror mangaka in the US, and for pretty good reason. His works predominantly explore body horror, a type of horror that showcases the anxiety and fear of things like assault and mutilation, and just the body doing things that are deemed as unnatural. And he also showcases a lot of cosmic horror, the fear of the unknown, and less focused on the gory details. This subgenre is also referred to as Eldritch horror or Lovecraftian horror, so if any of those things come together to paint a bigger picture for you, that's basically the two main horror types you'll find in Junji Ito's works. But one aspect or theme of horror that I find myself coming back to while reading Tomie is the horror of femininity. This isn't really a subgenre, but more of a theme that I want to talk about because it's the only thing going through my mind while reading Tomie. Tomie is a series of standalone short stories about a beautiful girl who possesses some kind of supernatural abilities. It starts with her being a bit of a succubus of sorts, being able to control and manipulate people, mostly men, into being obsessed with her. She has this aura that draws people in and does not let them go. This obsession usually grows into rage that drives her suitors, again mostly men, to the point of extreme violence. And usually
I don't know this. I feel so bad for pausing for pausing them, but I'm so focused on the music right now in this video. I'm like, yes, let's go Undertale, let's go.
That results in Tomie's death. But sometimes other people get wrapped up in the cruelty as well. Despite the grisly deaths that Tomie falls to, she regenerates and comes back. She can also grow from her own severed body parts, causing multiple Tomies to exist. She's an unstoppable force that drives those she connects with to insanity. And it doesn't stop when she's dead. The blurb on the back...
Yeah. She not only can, from her own body parts, but there was that one where there was just a blood splatter, and the next thing you know, Tomie is emerging from the carpet, because even just from the blood, she was able to become a real girl.
Of the Tomie collection describes Tomie as a femme fatale who can seduce nearly any man and drive them to murder. They kill to keep her to themselves. They kill out of fear of her. But no matter how many times they kill her, the world will never be free of Tomie. The idea of a person having that kind of power is terrifying. There is no stopping it, and many of her victims that don't stoop to murdering her are rendered essentially powerless. We see this powerlessness more in the female victims than we do the males. Most men who fall for Tomie's charm kill her. And yeah, they also never actually escape the clutches of her power, but they're the ones committing murder. Most of the women, however, who get caught up in her charm either destroy themselves or are put in a position where they're always on the run from Tomie and the trauma surrounding. Tomie is literally just about violence against women. Before you say it's not that deep, I'm literally doing this analysis for fun. No one is forcing you to be here. I don't know what to tell you. What I say is not the end-all be-all of a Tomie analysis. This is just my thoughts, and I find this fun. Okay, so what is Tomie even like as a person? We see a few different iterations to Tomie's character. She's playful, flirty, and kind of a bitch. She's often shown...
Kind of a bitch. Whoa. She's like a super bitch. The whole time. Not the whole time, but... and that's part of her charm, too. Like the one where she was like asking for, caviar. She was always asking for caviar, and then she's like, ugh, you brought me caviar? Disgusting. Like, I was just cracking up. She is so demanding. You know what? She knows what she wants. She knows what she wants, and she wants it now. And there's no please. She wants it now, and she's going to get it now. And you know what?
Shown being selfish and painfully materialistic, demanding the most expensive things, diamonds, and items her prey simply cannot afford. And then she acts disgusted.
You know, Tomie is that girl. For real, she is that girl.
Disgusted with anything less than the absolute best. Ungrateful and very disinterested in the actual person that she has set her sights on. However, she can also play the perfect daughter or the perfect victim or whatever role she needs to perform in order to achieve her goals.
An actress, we love it.
Sometimes Tomie is a victim of her own power, not wanting to live in the cycle she is perpetuating. But more often than not, the narrative portrays Tomie as a monster, almost deserving of the violence perpetrated against her. I want to make it clear, in case it needs to be said, no matter how selfish and manipulative a person is, they don't deserve to be brutally murdered. I don't think anyone does, and I think we can all come up with like certain types of people that we think should be, but I also think no one actually deserves to be cut into 42 pieces like Tomie. Especially when said person is just a teenager. Tomie is described as a woman, and in some stories, yes, that is an adult woman. But she is often portrayed as a high schooler and sometimes even younger. And she's often
there's that one where there were multiple Tomies in the same town, and they were all like children. They were children.
A high schooler and sometimes even younger. And she often uses her charm against older men, driving them to the point of madness, willing to risk it all for this kid. But I find it an interesting choice to portray Tomie in this way. Junji Ito's work is often lumped in with the eroguro subgenre, and the eroguro subgenre is rife with the exploitation of women, and the punishment of women who threaten the status quo and the patriarchy. Now, I'm not calling Junji Ito or any of these creators misogynists. I don't know these people, like I literally cannot make this call, but it is an objective fact that society and culture is and has been misogynistic. And the culture a person is steeped in does find its way into their creative works, be it intentionally or not, a reflection of the world they live in or a critique. Women and femininity are often seen as less than. You see it just in the treatment of manga alone, manga demographics specifically. Shonen is the golden child of manga and anime,
That's so true.
while shoujo is sidelined and josei fully ignored. Josei is the adult women demographic, by the way. And anytime manga fans try to discuss this, you get people claiming that shoujo is ignored because it's just genuinely bad and boring, or just too girly or only romance. All of these things are objectively false. If you want a deeper discussion on shoujo and josei,
that is so, like, oh, I keep pushing buttons on my keyboard where I'm scrolling through the video. But no, 100%. Shonen is like the big genre targeted for, younger boys, all of your big name shit, shonen. All shonen. And yeah, like, shoujo don't get any love. But let me say, I don't watch a lot of anime, okay? Confession time. I used to watch a lot of anime. I don't really watch anime anymore, but I did primarily watch shonen. But I need to watch more anime. But honestly, I don't know why. I was like, oh, this is gonna be so nice. And then I'm like, the serious topics. No, for real. It is very violent, Tomie. I also wonder if men had the same experience. See, my issue before would be that I would never be awake in time for it. I would never be awake. I would always be sleeping. But now I'm in a good sleep schedule, so I will be awake. I need to. I need to.
Say, Colleen Manga Rex is a great channel that actually delves deeper into this discussion, and they also highlight a lot of, in my opinion, hidden gems. Maybe I just don't keep up with like current shoujo, but fun channel over there if you're looking for recommendations. The majority of Junji Ito's work, including Tomie, were published in shoujo magazines, making Tomie, the character, a part of the demographic that she is marketed towards. And she is punished for her less than savory personality, punished for her beauty, her sexuality, and her femininity. And she's often punished for how others feel about her, not for things that she has done specifically, but how others perceive her or feel about her, which quite frankly is not really her problem. If you ignore the fact that there's probably some mystical power that's making people feel this way, that's not really brought up in the manga, but it's kind of like the vibe sometimes.
That is so true, because there were several times where like the guy would be like, I don't even understand. I just have an urge to rip her apart, to cut her into pieces. I don't understand. I don't get it. So it definitely is very mystical power. She has like her scent, her aroma just makes them feel this way.
Tomie is punished for the way that men go crazy for her. I get that is part of the horror. A girl that's so beautiful, it drives those who behold her to madness. I understand that. But it is something I find myself thinking about while reading Tomie and placing it in the, I guess, cultural zeitgeist, or whatever words I'm trying to say here. It's a reflection of how women are treated in the real world. It's a reflection
so true
of the pressure put on girls to be responsible for how others perceive and treat them. If you don't know what I mean by that, basically it's like the whole "what were you wearing" question whenever a girl comes out about being sexually assaulted or harassed, as if it's her fault that someone outside of her control decided to commit a crime against her. With Tomie, we kind of see this reality reflected back, but it's a bit messy. The focus of the narrative tends to be more on the power she holds over others and not the horrible things done to her. So it's not a perfect analysis. Circling back to the femme fatale idea, Tomie is equal parts empowering as she is a victim of misogyny. The whole femme fatale trope is typically a woman who lures men in, placing men as victims to the woman in the narrative. However, the only thing about most femme fatales that lure in is just that they're pretty?
Yeah.
I have not consumed every piece of media in the world out there, but every femme
Whoa,
fatale...
whoa. They're giving us a Tomie analysis, but haven't consumed every piece of media in the world. What do you mean? What do you mean right
I've
now?
ever seen. The only thing about her is that she's hot and could kill people. And again, like, it all stems back to her victims just find her attractive, and now that's everyone's problem. They're usually wrapped up in something maybe a bit sketchy and possibly have the power to dominate and even kill the men who are interested in her, and I understand that's part of the appeal. But at the end of the day, a femme fatale is literally just a hot woman with power. It places the woman in the wrong for the audacity of being attractive. These women are also often punished by the narrative, either for the sake of being pretty or for the power that they wield, or both. A lot of times it is both. With Tomie, her beauty is her power. They're intertwined, and it's her beauty that lures in her victims, allowing her to really work her magic.
I had that issue on my phone the other day. I started stream and then I went outside real quick and I was trying to send messages on my phone and they just wouldn't send. Like, on my end, they sent, but when I came back to my desk and I looked in chat, like, I was like, oh, well, I was just talking to no one, I guess, because none of the messages showed up in chat.
Exerting her power and taking control over these
It's okay. I can feel it, Softy. I can sense it.
unsuspecting men and sometimes women. In this sense, Tomie is about the horror of femininity and the power a woman can have over a man, painting the horror from a male perspective, showcasing how dangerous a beautiful woman can be. And sure, Tomie is objectively a horrible person, more often than not, and she does treat most of the guys we see with her pretty horribly. And if you are dating somebody who treats you the way Tomie treats the men in most of these stories, you are a victim. I don't know what to tell you. I'm sorry. I'm sorry it had to come from me, some silly little guy on the internet.
Some silly little guy.
But the narrative of Tomie is never about the abuse that she puts her victims through. Instead, it's focused on her beauty and how the beauty alone is what drives them crazy. Yeah, she treats me like a pet that's almost too disgusting to touch. Yeah, she seems to only be with me to get nice gifts. But at least she's hot.
Yeah, she's so mean to me all the time, but she's so pretty. She's so pretty.
She's so hot I can't stand it. She's losing interest in me now, and I cannot let her be with someone else. If I can't have her, no one can. This difference in how Tomie's victims are shown and the tone of the narrative flips Tomie as a creature from someone who holds all the power to someone who is ultimately powerless against the men in her life. The men she uses and discards make it their life's purpose to one-up her, to get rid of her, to ruin her in any way that they feel will actually matter. It's that flip that showcases the horror of femininity as a person who is seen as feminine. The misfortune that falls on someone for aspects of their femininity, the way that women can be victimized in crimes of passion or power struggles, because let's be real, most of the time, Tomie is being victimized by someone who wishes to gain power over her that they feel entitled to. And let me just set the record straight. I don't think Tomie, the stories, are inherently misogynistic. No one is painted as the one in the right, and more often than not, those who seek to victimize Tomie also get what's coming for them. No one wins. Everyone is punished by this narrative, and it's just the cruelty of man on full display here.
Yeah.
But what about the stories that focus on the unfortunate females that encounter Tomie? Stories of jealousy, less than stunning girls trying to become more conventionally attractive.
Oh yeah, that was the one with the hair. I forgot about that one. How did I forget about that one? Also, so I haven't been providing a lot of commentary. I just feel like this person's doing. I don't have anything to add to what they've been saying. I'm just like, yeah. Woo, yeah, that's good. That's great. I agree. Woo. Oh my gosh, yes. What a good point.
How women become overlooked as they grow older. It's the horrors of femininity from a female perspective, the horrors of what's expected of women, and how women who don't match oftentimes unrealistic standards are mistreated by society and those around them. How women perpetuate misogyny against each other, because women are not immune to being misogynistic. Just because you are a part of a marginalized group does not mean that you cannot be biased against said group. And Tomie shows us that. Tomie herself is not a girl's girl. She's cruel, petty, and sees herself as better than pretty much everyone, better than other women because she is young and pretty. And she mistreats women around her for not being Tomie's unrealistic, unearthly standard of beauty. But she's also jealous of her.
Like the painting one, where she's like, oh, you can paint me. You know, I'm going to be so much prettier than any of the other women you've painted. I'm going to make you so much money. You know, you need me to be your model. Oh, I just skipped the beginning of the video. Why do I keep pushing buttons by keyword by accident? No.
Them. How women perpetuate misogyny against each other, because women are not definitely using that wrong, but it feels really
ahead.
She's cruel, petty, and sees herself as better than pretty much everyone, better than other women because she is young and pretty. And she mistreats women around her for not being Tomie's unrealistic, unearthly standard of beauty. But she's also jealous of herself, refusing to let other Tomies exist. She needs to be the only one because that's what gives her power. In a way, Tomie is like a very, very extreme final boss of a pick-me girl. Kind of.
Wait, the final boss of a pick-me girl.
Using that phrase a little wrong.
No, I think that's
definitely using that wrong, but
no, that's
it feels related. One of my favorite Tomie stories is Hair. A girl finds a box of hair in her father's office, and it's the most beautiful hair she's ever seen. It's got an enchanting quality to it. Her father is distressed once he finds the box is missing and kind of goes crazy about it. The girl keeps this hair in her possession and also keeps it a secret. And one day, she shows it to a friend. While they're playing around with it, the girls find out that the hair can attach to their scalps and cannot be removed. It's weird, but the friend gets an idea. After the friend takes the box home to hide it from the girl's dad, the friend finds out that the hair can multiply when cut. So, free extensions, unlimited extensions hack. The girl is now being haunted by Tomie's image and is unable to focus on anything else. But the wild part is the girl's friend comes back to school after summer break with a whole new head of hair. She has transplanted Tomie's hair onto her own scalp and has begun speaking to Tomie. The girl is obsessed. She stays home trying to speak with Tomie. And her friend eventually shares that the more of Tomie's hair she puts on her head, the closer she'll be to Tomie. The girl tries it. The friend is also giving out Tomie's hair at school, spreading the beauty. In the background of this plot, the girl's parents separate after the father tells the mother that Tomie is the real love of his life. And when the mother goes to get the girl, she's got Tomie's hair growing all over her, taking over her body. Once at the hospital, the doctors can't remove the hair because it's implanted itself into her brain. She's being taken over by Tomie's essence and becoming an unknowing host. Losing herself because she wanted to commune with someone as pretty as Tomie. Her friend lost herself because she wanted to have pretty hair. The quest for meeting beauty standards destroys those who are willing to give up anything just to be pretty. Many of the Tomie stories are stories of Tomie, the person or creature, attracting victims and destroying them while they destroy her. Hair, however, is more like her essence drawing people in, pieces of her that are no longer alive or like attached to her. Alive is, I guess, a little bit questionable, debatable. But hair is about how women will destroy themselves to fit into beauty standards, to fit these misogynistic societal views of what they think they should be. And in a way, Tomie covers basically all aspects of femininity and the way femininity can be weaponized against people, the way that oftentimes being seen as feminine in a world that inherently disregards femininity and sees it as less than can be traumatizing for some. It's something that not a lot of people are excited about, to say the least. I don't know if Tomie is actually that deep, but it is more fun for me if it is. It adds a layer of poeticism to the stories being told, and horror as a genre often reflects anxieties the general public struggles with, and portrays it in a way that, yes, is over the top, but makes it easier to identify and process and just put it all out there for the world to see and grapple with in a way that's not directly tied to the scarier real life issues. And that's what makes horror as a genre so effective. And Tomie plays right into that with the anxieties of fitting in, the anxieties of matching misogynistic beauty standards and unrealistic standards thrown onto women. It's the anxiety of being victimized and also being a monster. It's the same fear that had women saying they would rather encounter a bear in the woods than a man whenever that TikTok trend was. Time is all kind of muddled up here. It's all the same thing, and that's what Tomie is about. I don't have anything else to add to that. Like I said earlier, this is not the end-all be-all of a Tomie analysis.
Oh my god, that's like the end of the video. I liked this video. I'm glad we watched that one. I know I put the link in the chat. It's also in the Discord. I'll go back on my other browser and I'll like this video. I want to like all the videos that we will watch. I like that video too. If y'all haven't told, I'm not the most analytical out here, okay? I consume media. I go, yay, that was delicious. I want more of that. And then I forget about everything. And then next. Time to go next. But that one was really good. I really liked their analysis of the horrors of femininity within Tomie. Because yeah, I guess that's something I didn't think of. And that they brought up was how Tomie also ends up destroying other women. And like the one she brought up, hair, you know, all of the time, people, not just women, alter themselves to fit into a beauty standard that they deem is, you know, perfect. And people can do whatever they want, of course. But there are a lot of, especially celebrities, who do it to fit in. And, you know, you do what you want, but sometimes it's worth it. It's worth it. It's worth it if you're happy. There you go. It's worth it if you're happy. I'm knocking over all my little trinkets. Okay. We have another little video. I don't think we're going to watch this one, but we'll see. This one's really long. But this one, how does it all connect with Tomie? We're going to start this one. I started it earlier, and I don't know how I feel about the voiceover. I think it's this one.
Now, knowing what she is fine and all, but when it comes to Tomie, in our last video, we looked into and discovered what Tomie is, or at least what she's based on. Now, knowing what she is fine and all, but when it comes to Tomie, the mystery goes far beyond what kind of monster she is, and this leaves you wondering more so, how does one chapter correlate to another? In one chapter, you see her live the mundane life of a student. In others, you see her make several attempts at preserving her own image. Are these differing chapters connected in some way, or are they as episodic as they appear to be? Also, what about Tomie herself? What are her aspirations? What is her character development? Is there a hidden, overlaying plot playing out in the background of these various chapters? Well, that is what we're going to be looking into today. Before we begin, let's organize and break down the slew of questions that were just presented. So the first couple questions I mentioned was...
So I'm reading the description of this video. No, yeah, for real. They are all episodic. Order of chapters in both Tomie's novels. Ito comments my collection. Tomie again. Ba-ba-ba-bum. I mean, honestly, we might not watch this one. I'm sorry to that person, but I just the voiceover, it got to me. It got to me. We're gonna skip around this one a little bit. This is the long one where they talk about each individual one. Let's see. We won't have to watch hair because we've talked about that one. Let's see. Which one's my what? Let's see. There's Tomie, the hospital, basement, photo, kiss. The photo one was interesting.
Story arc for now. The next story is titled Photo. It begins on a stormy night. A woman and her...
I'm so sorry. I did not realize how picky I was. I did not look at these beforehand, and I definitely did. I definitely should have. Okay.
elderly father are having tea in a large mansion when someone rings the doorbell. The young woman answers the door to see who other than Tomie, soaking wet and asking if she can stay for the night. This is an ominous insight into things to come. We're then introduced to Tsukiko, a high school student and amateur photographer. She has a weird niche, let's say, where she photographs boys in her school and then sells the pictures to girls who have crushes on them. Pretty creepy actually, but she makes a killing off of it, even charging her best friend Michiko for photos of her crush. A popular request is that of a boy named Yamazaki, who she frequently photographs. Secretly, Tsukiko has a crush on Yamazaki as well. As she snaps some photos one day, we see Tomie nearby watching. Tsukiko says that she's a new transfer. Makes dozens of copies of the Tomie pictures and scatters them around the school. Tomie is clearly pissed.
It says explained, but I want to see, are they leaving like a short synopsis for each chapter and then explaining it?
And Tsukiko tries to get out of the standing by the door. She says she's just brought some refreshments and wants to hang out. Tsukiko informs her that she knows like shit. Well, at least no one saw us do it. Then they remember Tsukiko's right behind them and decide they'll have to kill her. It's actually kind of funny. She pretends to be sleeping like she didn't see what happened. Obviously they don't buy it, but before they can kill her, Tomie's voice rings out. It's coming from the newer face that sprouted, and it tells the boys to burn the other face. Not knowing exactly what to do.
Okay, never mind. I guess we're not going to watch that video either. I thought that one was going to be more analytical because it said explained, but the explanation was just... The explanation was just, this is what happened in that chapter. This is what happened in that chapter. Yeah, like, I guess it's nice if you didn't read it, but I was like, oh, this video's long. It's gonna be, you know, explaining some significance. I wasn't expecting it just to be all about, okay, in this chapter, this is what happened. Okay, let me pull up my other browser really quick. I have two secret browsers. For real, I recommend everyone they use Tumblr to look through the Tomie Tumblr tag. It's very interesting. There's a lot of good stuff there. Okay, so we talked a little bit about Tomie. We didn't talk a ton about it, honestly. I didn't pick out questions for this month either. That's okay. We don't need no questions. We don't need no questions. Let me go to the thread before I know I have Black Paradox on the screen right now. I'm just looking through our channel really quick. All of the silly little Tomies in the and like the science ones where she's in the various liquids, I always cracked me up. Anytime there's just a little freak. There's a lot of really good images in Tomie, like meme images, not only just the little freak Tomies, but I know Softy posted this one when she was coming out of the trash can. That was so funny. Still looking. Okay, then we're there. Okay. Next. We did read 2 mangas this past month. We also read a manga called Black Paradox, which I didn't talk a ton about. It was very short. It was only a few chapters long. But the premise of Black Paradox is that there are these people, they all met online and they all agreed to commit suicide together. And they were going to go together and do it. And they were all talking about their reasons in the car. You know, one of them says he saw his doppelganger and that's a bad omen. Another one, he had a robot that was an exact replica of him and it was, you know, ruining his life. This other woman, she had, I believe it was a birthmark on her face and, you know, she had nothing to live for. And then the other girl, the quote unquote main girl, I don't remember any other names. I'm sorry. I only remember Pitan. But she, you know, works at a hospital and, you know, we find out that those weren't like the original people. It's very confusing sometimes. But then they find these orbs, right? Pitan is like throwing up these orbs and they have this immense power, immense energy and like luck and wishes, and they're also very dangerous. So that's kind of where Black Paradox goes. It goes in the direction of what are these mysterious orbs, and it gets crazy. But I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a really good little read. Bum, 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 bum. Oh my gosh, I need to show you guys these images that I posted in Discord. So this one, it made me think, I was like, okay, get it, slay. And then the next one, like, they're so cunty. Oh, this is wrong. Like, look how cunty they're all walking. Look at that. This is crazy. Okay. Black Paradox, I tried to find a few things about it. I didn't find a ton for Black Paradox, I will admit. But I thought this was funny. The Black Paradox gang is my Nightmare Blunt rotation. Because for real, that is a Nightmare Blunt rotation. That cracked me up. This person loves Pitan, and I love it because they post so much art of them. So if I love Pitan art, look at him, the little munch, yummy. It's so cute. And then another one, I'm normal about him. Like, look at him. Wow, Pitan! I threw up. I love it. I didn't super... These are 2 different posts. Okay. Of all the Junji Ito manga, Black Paradox is one of my faves because it is one of the most... I'm just making this up as I go along. I had no plot planned from the very beginning of his works. You have no idea where any of this is going, and neither did he. And because of that, I love it so much. It really takes you places. Like, Uzumaki and Tomie are kind of predictable in their own ways, in the sense that it will all end very badly. But Black Paradox just makes you go, why is this story still going? What the heck? What is this leading up to? But in a pleasantly surprised kind of way. Babes, you will never guess what this guy in the old-timey diving suit just dived into. This is like smack dab in the middle of the story, and we ain't even at the weirdest part yet. Hot dog. You'll never guess. That is so true. Because it was what? He dove into, like, part of his stomach that was in that pool? Oh, and that's it. Because Yeah, because hot dog, that cracked me up. I loved all the characters in Black Paradox as well. I thought they were very good. So this one is overanalyzing Black Paradox. Again, I didn't super read this one. I do think they linked to an article, but I wanted to pick around this one for a little bit. I wrote an article for 5 hours regarding the themes of Black Paradox by Junji Ito. So I think this is their article. Here's the entire blog post without images condensed into Tumblr format through the power of copy and paste. Maybe we'll read it here. Okay, so this is... Let me post up the link. Let's go! Let's go! You're free! You're free! Let me zoom out. There we go. Black Paradox is a manga written and drawn by famous horror artist Junji Ito. It's about 4 people who meet up online through a suicide website called Black Paradox to commit group suicide. Now, I will say I was initially swindled by the book's presence. I flipped through a couple pages and saw a man being pulled out of what looked like water and being resuscitated. On the back of the book, it says that the 4 try to find a way to achieve a quote-unquote perfect death. Though my folly, I had mistakenly misinterpreted this book as 4 individuals obsessed with thanatology reaching what they believe to be a perfect absolute death within their philosophical confines. Macabre, off-putting, surreal, that was the mindset I was initially entering the book with. Instead, I got 4 people who fight over each other to collect a bundle of rare gemstones that offer unlimited energy that emerge from the dead while remaining pursued by their unresolved pasts. Why did they wait for Anime Club though? Mean. I also had no idea where it was going. I read the very short synopsis when I was like asking people what they wanted to read, but I had no idea that where this was going. Every time from that one post that we saw, it's like you don't know where it's going, and every time you're just like, okay, don't know why that happened, but next. Okay, whatever. The difference between my expectations and what I received does not mean that this is not a good book. In fact, I reread this book for my review. As with most books, you are not going to get exactly what's written on the back. So with that in mind, take the review with a pinch of salt and a dash of pepper. Read the first few bits of the review and see for yourself if the plot sounds like your cup of tea. The cast of our misfortunes. Who are the central characters of the story and why are they here? Maruso, a girl suffering from a foreboding dread which she fears predicts a series of disasters lie in her near future. She worries that the sensation is a premonition for misfortune to come and wishes to avoid an unpleasant fate. She's anxious, reserved, and skittish of what is to come. Taburo, a boy who claims to have seen his doppelganger. One common folktale is that if you see your doppelganger, it means you are going to die soon. Taburo wishes to expedite the process instead of slowly waiting for his own death. He's flippant, arrogant, and apathetic. Piton, a man who invented a robot designed after himself, as the robot was quote-unquote better in every other way and universally celebrated by his peers. Piton felt that his own existence is threatened by the other him and wishes to die before a public press announcement of the robot's existence is made. He is melancholic, academic, and reserved. Barachi, a woman who is born with half of her face scarred. She cannot bear the given perception of herself and as a result joined the group primarily from self-loathing. She is cynical, shrewd, and adamant. It is hard to come up with descriptors for Junji Ito's characters. Usually characters in Junji Ito's work are purposely designed to be bland, without personality, or resemble a generic everyday person trope. The reasoning for this is that the less detailed a protagonist or character has, the easier it is to project onto them. Furthermore, it's harder to condense character development in a graphic-based novel with limited space and words. Also, if the characters had complex personalities, we'd feel bad when a character we personally relate to or enjoy suffers or experiences hardships. Vice versa, when a character we hate experiences misfortune, we experience catharsis. In this book, however, we have the 4 same characters throughout the entire book. Their lives are not completely laid out for us, but their motivations and rationalizations are, a stark difference from other Junji Ito anthologies. True. That is true. We just know them and kind of know what they all know about each other with little additional insights as when we're in their perspectives. But yeah, I feel like Tomie, we learned so much about her throughout this whole thing, but even I've read like Love Sickness. I think part of that too is a lot of them are episodic. Even Tomie, where Tomie is there and there are few returning characters, it's almost always something new. Whereas this one was new things, the same people. bum bum. Okay. I wanted to zoom past the character analysis a little bit. Recommendations. I would not say this was my absolute favorite book by Junji Ito. Oh, one of their favorite is Tomie. They enjoyed it. There are several themes in the book that reoccur throughout the beginning and the end. I will go through each one that I personally notice and what I think they mean in the story itself. Double or Nothing, the doubles of our characters. You may have noticed from the characters' descriptions in the first chapter that 3 of our 4 characters have a double in some shape or form that initially presses them into suicide. Barachi has her reflection, Piton has a robot designed to look like him, and Toburo has his doppelganger. In the first chapter, Maruso accidentally enters a car with these doubles who plan to kill themselves and the originals. This is done from a plot standpoint to prevent our cast from committing suicide and drive home to the idea of their doubles existing in the novel. While all 3 of the doubles die in the first chapter, they do reappear and play what I believe to be a significant role throughout the remainder of the book. Towards the latter half of the book, the main cast are slowly recruited to travel to the spirit world through their respective portals. As a rule, each character can only travel through a portal made from their own designated portal or they will die. During these scenes of the characters gradually traveling to and from the spirit world, there's something of particular interest. That being that every time a character decides to travel to the spirit world, they reflect their double. I didn't notice that. I didn't notice that they reflected their double. Oh, I think they brought it up. I do think one character was like, oh, but her... No, I think that was in the beginning where she was like, oh, she's talked about one side of her face, but it was the other side. For example, the Piton that goes in the spirit world is actually the Piton robot being piloted by his soul. The Barachi that goes in the spirit world has had surgery to fix the birthmark on the left side of her face. At the beginning of the novel, we see that Barachi's double, her reflection, has her birthmark on her right side. It is mentioned in the second chapter that the reflection could just change what side of her face as the birthmark and the reflection was 2 mirrors facing each other. Therefore, it could be argued that Barachi is therefore an extension of her reflection by the end of the novel, her reflection and herself overlapping. And Toburo is visited by his doppelganger, fears that his shadow is also his doppelganger, and then the next time we see him, he's walking out of his own shadow. We could view all of these as their doubles becoming one with the cast and characters. I like that. I like that. Maruso's double isn't really a double, it's just her anxiety and fears for the future, which disappear later on in the book, and instead of coalesce as an acceptance of the future no matter how horrible it appears. The cost of eternity. This comparison, in short, is short and sweet. It is revealed at the ending of the book that Paradonite isn't just a gem that contains the souls of those who go into the afterlife. Instead, it is a soul for everything and anything that is living. The soul, personality, and spirit of a person are stored inside of this gemstone while they physically exist on Earth. And when they die, they presumably reincarnate with their spirit entering a new body. To put it in simpler terms, imagine your brain was in a jar, but it could still move your body, even though your body itself might not be aware of the brain's existence or its influence. That's a good analogy for those stones. Your little brain in a jar. Oh, okay. We have a few more. Okay, then we have the afterlife and back. Another theme that is mentioned at the end of the book is the reason that this all happened in the first place. At the beginning of the book, all of the characters want to die. In the end of the book, the characters technically achieve this by traveling to and from the afterlife to collect the stone, thus fulfilling their goal at the beginning of the book without reaching finality. The only exception to this is Piton, who does end up dying at the beginning, but possesses Piton's robot. The characters also end up subverting the reasons they wanted to die in the first place. Maruso no longer experiences dread about the future. Piton now is his robot. Barachi had her birthmark removed. In all instances of the characters achieved not only their initial goal of dying, but in also removing the cause that incited their death in the first place. I thought this was a neat detail, even if it's told directly to us in the book. I agree, because that is brought up, you know. Barachi had her surgery. She's like, I have, you know, my purpose is, you know, reinvigorated. I'm here. I like this article. I wonder if this person's written other articles. We have one more paragraph. I want to see what other things they've written. I've enjoyed reading this from them. And then the last one, the paradox in Black Paradox. So what is the paradox in Black Paradox? I'm not sure. I'm guessing for this. This is a sleep-deprived, one-off guess that I cooked up in a primordial stew of neurons and tap water. My guess is that the paradox in Black Paradox, aside from it being merely a name, is that the source of the entire story, the doubles and Maruso's foreboding for the future would not have even occurred without the doubles appearing. Marusa wouldn't have had any foreboding about the future, so she wouldn't be there. Many of the doubles seem to share the same goal of dying at the beginning of the film. Indeed, Piton's robot expresses the wish to die even before Piton's soul begins possessing it. It's likely, given that some of the doubles, like Tashuro's doppelganger, keep coming back, that these doubles are either a manifestation of the cast's trauma, personal self-loathing, or representation of their deaths. I don't really know, though. These doubles' existence are unexplained. However, they do end up subverting the character's death multiple times, thus removing any reason for their existence in the first place. The doppelganger doesn't show up after Toshiro begins journeying into the afterlife, nor does anyone else's double once they visit the spirit world. Piton's robot doesn't count because it is Piton. Where am I going with this? I don't know. It's been a long day and okay, they don't know. It could be that there is no paradox and that's just the name. Gyo and other the works wasn't about climate change or the devastating drawbacks and meddling with nature it can bring. I enjoyed reading this. This was good. Let's see what else. They have, these are the central repository for all their book reviews. They have The Metamorphosis by Franz Kafka. There's a manga tab, but there's nothing there. What about games? No games. Well. How fun. I enjoyed that. I didn't prepare a ton for today. I just wanted to chill and have a good time. But thank you all for coming and hanging out for a little manga club. We do have next month's announced. We will be reading Astra Lost in Space. We have that all posted up. I will also be changing Discord around a little bit. I don't know. Did I announce that? I did announce that. I did say that. I will probably be unlocking Manga Club channel so everyone can look at it and then just have it be for pings, but we'll see. With that, I'll see you all next time. I know I said I might stream tomorrow, but I don't think I will. I don't think I will. So I will probably see you all next week, probably with some Animal Crossing. We'll probably do an art stream and maybe some Minecraft. Is there a hole? No, there's not. Yeah, thank you all for coming and hanging out today, and I will see you next week. Bye-bye.